Okay, I've got a chart here behind me that shows you the baby boomers. This indicates the increment of the workforce of the working age population, which is about 3 million workers in 1970. That's the baby boomer wave entering the workforce. This is the echo of the baby boomers. Here we are in 2014, and we're having a complete collapse in the growth of the working age population from the historical numbers, which are 2.5 to 3 million, to only 500,000 workers. But another source of concern is the huge increase in the increment to the elderly. The elderly back in the 70s were growing at the rate of about 500,000 per year, and this thing just zooms up enormously. 2012 was the first year in which the elderly population increased by more than the working age. But by the time we get to 2010 or 2020, the elderly are going to be growing at about 2 million additional elderly every year. The working age is only growing at 400,000 or 500,000. That's a huge problem for the United States. Why is this growth in elderly so important? We have a federal government that's made enormous commitments to Medicare and taking care of the elderly. It takes a working age population to pay the taxes to take care of those folks, but we're not going to have enough of growth in the working age population to possibly support all these elderly. We're going to have to work this out sometime in the future.
So the way to understand what's happening in California housing markets is to look at not just total home sales, which have been basically flat in recent months, slightly negative, and that suggests that the housing market is going nowhere. But to look at the composition of the housing market. In California, foreclosures, which dominated the early part of the recovery, have plummeted to less than 7%. And so you see here foreclosures are going down very rapidly towards zero. And that's an important aspect of California housing markets today. So with housing markets normalizing, but the inventory, that is the number of homes that are available for sale today that are being listed, being in fairly short supply, we're seeing home prices bid up. That's the signal that builders need to start building, and that's why we see in California continued strength in construction, particularly in the building of multifamily housing.